River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Niner Nuts. I'm Dan, here along with Mr. Jimmy B. The OG hosts of the show are here. We do not have Eric today. He needed the day off, partied a little too hardy over our Victory Monday, or now it's Victory Monday. He partied too hardy celebrating yesterday. But yes, we are here. Jimmy, how are we doing? Nice to have you back still after that 2-week break you had.
Yeah, people know I'm an Eagles fan, and you know what, man? Who cares about the Eagles offense as long as we got a D like that, man?
I didn't have the heart to text you in the moment of the game, but I was watching Fantastic Four and not the game. I've been playing it.
That's all right. I really don't in the game, so like
I've been putting off watching it, and I was just like, you know what? Like the Lions are terrible when they're going against a defense that's better than like right in the middle, like the Dalton scale. If they're facing a defense that's better than 16th, their offense is terrible. And then once again, you guys didn't even score 20 points and still won. I was like, I'm gonna watch.
I know.
I'm gonna watch Fantastic Four.
Yeah. I mean, after a certain point, I was just like, yeah, I don't think the offense is it this year, and it's just you were going to have to ride the defense until if the offense ever wakes up or whatever. So
you just got to score more than 9 points and you're good. And speaking of thrilling offenses, the other side of that coin, Brock Purdy came back, and boy, did we have a beatdown of a win. The Cardinals once again getting completely spanked last week by the Seahawks, this week by us. That is why we're having a Victory Monday. We won 41-22, and we have swept the Cardinals once again. I can't remember how many years in a row. I know we swept them last year, but Brock Purdy and his glorious return. He had exactly 200 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. I'll go ahead and say it. He's very lucky he didn't have 2 picks, but hey, they didn't count. They were dropped, and he ended up with a passer rating of 133.5. Welcome back, buddy. Christian McCaffrey still doing his thing, went over 110 yards. He had a receiving and 2 rushing touchdowns. Absolute beast. Even Brian Robinson did decent. I mean, 3 yards a carry, but we're trying to get him more involved. So I'll give Kyle credit for that. George Kittle led the way, 67 yards and 2 tutties himself. Juwan Jennings, he had 54 yards. Didn't really need much production out of anyone else besides him, but it's always fun when Juszczyk gets a catch in the fullback position. And usually I skip the nerdy numbers for defense, but have to give a massive shout out to Keon White, our acquisition from the Patriots in the trade. He had a fumble recovery, and then we didn't have just 1 pick. We had 2, which are not here for some reason. I don't know why, but I have to shout out Malik Mustafa and Diamador Lenore. Both had picks yesterday. It was glorious. Oh, because they're right here in their own category. That's why. This is just tackles and passes defense. But yeah, here we go, viewers. Demo and Malik both had an interception. Demo almost took us to the house.
I know. It was crazy. He looked like he was like Christian McCaffrey cutting through defenders and juking them and stuff. I thought he was going to go, but then, yeah, they tackled him. But, yeah, that was a great pick and run right there.
He jumped that route perfect, too. Read him like a book. And then speaking of cutting through the field, Sky Moore and Bijan Robinson both had excellent returns. Sky Moore, I'm glad he didn't because I needed it for my parlay. But
Brian Robinson.
Oh, yeah, I said Bijan. Brian had a great return for his one return, and then Sky Moore on his one return. Selfishly, I'm glad he didn't get into the end zone because I needed it for my parlay. But Sky Moore almost got into the end zone, a 98-yard return, easily his best return of the year so far. And then even Eddie Pinheiro hit all 3 of his field goals, despite going 50-50 on his extra points, and now he's hurt. But let's circle back to that later. Hopefully this is not the end of his season. We'll save the bad stuff for later. The last bit of the nerdy numbers on the Cardinals side. Oh, boy, howdy. We got 2 picks, but we allowed 452 yards on a record-breaking 47 completions. Jeez Louises.
and it's not just like, okay, so like when news came across that Jacoby Brissett, had the completion record at 47 in one game
on 57 attempts.
That's exactly. I was like, well, how many attempts? And like, you see a line like that, you're like, I don't know, 60, 70 attempts. He only had 10 incomplete passes, and 2 of those were picks. So like, and I didn't see, I watched the highlights, so I didn't see every single pass, but for crying out loud, like that 47 completions on 57 attempts is just, and 452 yards is just unreal. And you're like, well,
Kyler Murray doesn't even do that in 2 games.
No, it's like, how did they lose? And then they turned the ball over a couple of times, and
we can jump ahead to that because it's worth noting. Yeah, the 2 interceptions, but you got to look too at the 17 penalties for 130 yards.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I haven't seen a team shoot themselves in the foot that bad in a good minute.
Yeah. It was just, really, both sides of the balls for the 49ers played really, really well in this game, despite the 47 completions. And the thing about it was, like, I think it was pretty much, either early in the third quarter or halfway through the third quarter, the Cardinals were just so far behind that if they were even going to get remotely close to catching up, they were going to have to throw the ball.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's just sort of like, yeah, the 49ers were up by a good amount, and they just, the Cardinals just had to throw the ball. And that's sort of where I think get it. But still, like,
we were up 35-10 at the start of the fourth quarter. So
the Cardinals were just playing catch up, and by the end of it, like, it was backups for the 49ers in there playing against the Cardinals starters. So it was a domination by the Niners on both sides of the ball, really.
Shout out, 47 completions is obviously the running line between 4 ball carriers, 14 carries, 36 yards, and then Bam Knight did get into the end zone. I forget if that was the first quarter touchdown or the fourth quarter touchdown. But then, no, you got to look at these passing lines, like 15 catches, 185 for Michael Wilson. Trey McBride, 10 for 115 and 1 tutty. Greg Dortch, 6 for 66 and 1 tutty also. Trey McBride, I'll give him some roses. Trey McBride is definitely up there with Kittle as the best tight end in the league, one of the best. Yeah. He's a pain to cover. And then Michael Wilson, what a coming out party for him with Harrison Jr. down. Sure. I genuinely want to give the Cardinals some praise because they got some good skilled position players. Coming into the game, they don't have bad defensive pieces, but I say that after they gave up over 80 points in 2 weeks.
The thing about Jonathan Gannon defense is, from what I saw him when he was in Philly, like it wasn't, it wasn't a defense that could really stop really good quarterbacks, on the regular. And if you look, at the season that he was on the Eagles and they went to the Super Bowl, they faced a lot of like I remember correctly, a lot of weak teams that season. And when they came, I mean, they in the divisional round they played the Giants that year with Daniel Jones, and we all know all about that. And then we played you guys in the NFC Championship game, and Purdy gets knocked out in the first quarter, and then another quarterback goes down. So
don't disrespect Josh Johnson. Remember his name. he's still a career backup at like year 22.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, the only real way for Gannon to stop a legitimate quarterback is if they get injured during the game. Like, it's not like it's like Vic Fangio is the creator of this defense, and this is like a hybrid. Like the Cardinals defense is like a hybrid of that. And because it's that way, Gannon's just always been susceptible to good quarterbacks, and so Whereas Vic, as we've seen Vic constantly go up against good quarterback after good quarterback and good quarterback, and he has no problem, for the most part, shutting them down and things like that. But Gannon, that's always been a problem of his. Like, he can do really, really well against really, really bad quarterbacks, but get somebody in there that, knows a decent amount or whatever. He has a little bit of trouble with that.
Right. He doesn't even split the difference. Like with what ended up really being the game of the week, at least for me, was the Bucks and the Bills. Jesus Christ. Todd Bowles, he's a great defensive coach. And he picked off Josh Allen twice. And really, that score doesn't quite do the justice to how good that defense played for 3 quarters. And then the offense, too, of the Bucks were matching him tit for tat. And then halfway into the fourth quarter, that's when the wheels fell off. But I don't know if that, or let me rephrase it this way. Is Todd Bowles a bad defensive coach, or is Josh Allen still MVP caliber with multiple rushing and passing touchdowns, despite still getting picked twice against Todd Bowles?
I do believe Josh Allen is sort of like this freak of nature, and yeah, I think
the Bucks game will run for their money. It really wasn't until the back half of the fourth quarter when the Bills finally broke through.
Well, yeah, or
the Bills, if I misspoke.
Josh Allen, he had 3 rushing and 3 passing touchdowns, I think it was.
Yeah, that's right.
That's just insane to think about too. And you look at it, I sort of look around and it's okay, how many truly great defensive minds do we have, in the game today? Considering considering for the most part, this is an offensive league, and it's all about scoring and stuff like that. So it's surprising, even in Philadelphia, that we have this defense that can hold, the Lions to 9 points, and whoever, I forget who we played last week, but the 7 points. Green Bay, we held Green Bay, in Green Bay to 7 points. So, I would say Vic Fangio and Todd Bowles, those two guys are sort of I would say would be generational coaches, when it comes to defense. You don't see guys like them, too often come around in the league where they have this, these great defensive minds and, and stopping really good quarterbacks, even though, Todd Bowles didn't stop Josh Allen this past weekend for 4 quarters, but still, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll say tying it back to us, I'll say Saleh dealing with a bunch of 3rd and 4th stringers. We only allowed 22 points on a quarterback that had 47 completions and 400 passing yards, and we still picked him off twice. You've had to remind us a couple times when we're doom and gloom, but it's starting. I mean, yes, it's the Cardinals. I'm not going to pretend that I saw the Rams game last week. I'm not going to get too big ahead here, but
I mean, but the thing about it is, what you have to look, understand is the Cardinals are a crappy team. The
Yeah.
Niners are a good team. And you went out there and you obliterated them what good team should do to a bad team like this. And that's really what it is. And like we said, for the majority of the game, the Cardinals offense was completely inept. And then, we see like they scored 12 points in the fourth quarter when the 49ers were pretty much like, yeah, whatever,
Those were 12 garbage time points in the truest definition of garbage time.
Yes. So, do you, for me, even looking at that, it's like that doesn't even really count, in my mind. It's like, really, this is a 41-10 game when we have all the starters and stuff like that, considering that.
Yeah, or hell, if you don't even count the fourth quarter, we still win 35-10.
Yeah.
We and the only reason that wasn't 7 points was because, of course, we can't go one damn game this year without injuries, except last week. We managed to get out of the Rams game without an injury, but we paid for it this week by losing Tatum Bethune, who replaced Fred Warner as middle linebacker and had been leading the league in tackles since he became starter, which is incredible. Right. And he's got a high ankle sprain. He's at least missing next week, if not probably the next 2-3 weeks, which I don't know. I feel like we're going to be missing him until the bye week, which is only like 3 weeks away now. Because we got a week 14 bye, which is
let's
stupid.
be real. The 49ers were up a good amount and they still had Purdy in, and there was like he almost, I thought, if he kind of went down a little odd or whatever. I forget what.
In the fourth quarter, there was a miscommunication with either a sweep or a handoff, and I can't remember if it was Brian or Kyle. There was miscommunication with somebody in the backfield, and so Purdy tried to roll out and realized no one was going to be open to the right, so he just deliberately fell.
Yeah, but that was the way he fell and looked. I was like, oh my gosh! I hope I was glad that he didn't get hurt.
Oh no, that was on purpose. He knew there was nothing there. He just fell.
Well, yeah, I knew he knew when I saw him, he knows nothing's there, but he just sort of the way he went down. I was like, ooh, But he got up. He seemed fine.
Oh yeah, no, dude played like an Iron Man. Thank God.
Well, yeah.
He and it was nice to see our offense completely just firing on all cylinders and humming again. Our three best weapons, perfect sync together. But no, I almost let us escape from. We did lose Tatum Bethune, which sucks because now our linebacking core is terrible. It's really bad outside. It's like D Winters, who's doing his best Drake Greenlaw impression. I'll give him his roses. He's been doing great as the Drake Greenlaw outside linebacker.
Right.
But now, oh my God, now we have quite a drop off with Luke Gifford, Mike, I forget his last name, Mike, not Davis. And then Curtis Robinson. And that's not, our linebacking core is struggling. We're on the struggle bus on that front.
Right.
But now Eddie Piñeiro's hurt. The guy that, oh my God, he was having a problem with extra points this year. Not all of them were his fault. Only 2 of them were outright misses, and the other 2 were blocks. And one of each of those happened yesterday. But he was still nailing all his field goals, and they were all over 40 yards. I believe they were all over 40 yards, if that's on there. But the longest was 48. I think they were all between 40 and 50. But,
yeah, I don't think there were really any chip shots that he did.
Yeah, but now he's got a grade 1 hammy pull. So what the hell?
There's a kicker out there somewhere hiding on a practice squad that
I trust our special teams coordinator knows who to call, because we've gotten a lot better at special teams this year than we were last year, but damn, this sucks. We had Thomas Morstead, our 45-year-old punter, doing the last couple kickoffs, and Kyle Juszczyk was on the sideline getting ready to be holder, in case we had to kick an extra point again. Which I would have loved to have seen Morstead try to do a field goal. Or he's not 45, but he's over 40.
Yeah.
Actually, I can click right here. We can see how old he is. He's Oh, nope. My apologies, Thomas. You're 39. You're 40 in March.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. But yeah,
Remember, he was
like,
the Saint. Remember, he was the Saints punter for like 12 years.
but yeah, but I mean, if you look across the league, I mean, like looking at watching your game, and then I watch, was it the Giants or Jets or something? Where
I hope it was the Giants because it was a Jameis Winston game.
I think it did. So like the wind in was it City Field, right?
MetLife is where the Jets.
So yeah, like the wind in MetLife was just horrible. The kickers were just missing everything, and in our game too, like, or the Eagles game or whatever, like the wind was like, pretty bad. And I was explaining to my buddy after the Lions, first touchdown, he got, Jameson Williams got, a 15-yard penalty because he used the field goal as a prop. So
I saw him hug the field goal. That was really funny.
it was really funny, and it's like, why is that even a penalty? But apparently I read somewhere one time somebody hit a goalpost and then it delayed everything for 20 minutes or whatever as they fixed it, and so that's why they stopped it. So
that was either,
it had nothing to do with,
I think that was Jimmy Graham or Rob Gronkowski dunking the football, and one of them actually pulled the upright down.
Yeah, so like I get it, but yeah, like, so like it made a 33-yard extra point, a 48,
that'd be a 48
yard try, and like,
that's an actual field goal.
And that's the thing, like they were showing us like before the game, like, what the win was like there, and I said to my buddy, like, why would you even try a 48-yard 1 point? Like, I would think with the way your offense is and things like that, why not just do a 17-yard 2-point conversion? Because like, if we consider that, if I go for 2, then it puts me at the 17 instead of trying to kick a field goal at 48, given what the situation was last night,
Yeah, just pull out a trick play that you haven't touched all season.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. The Lions generally have plays going in and out of their yin-yang with whatever they can do. I mean, I don't know how big their playbook is, but, over the last couple of years, you would imagine it's like almost twice the size of any other NFL playbook.
Yeah, and you would think they'd have like a fake screen to Amon-Ra, and then he throws a bomb down to Jameson, like something.
Just something like in that situation, it was like, I mean, I think the probability was probably even in that situation, given the fact with the way the wind was last night and how both kickers were kicking in pregame.
Yeah. Well, glad to know that our problems weren't isolated. I'm glad every kicker had a problem yesterday.
A lot of them did. Like I was like, even like when I was watching the Giants, game, thinking like, what was the over under on missed kicks during this game? Because there was like 3, and so you're just like, and then our game, yeah, it was crazy this whole week kicking. It seemed like
the Seahawks and the Rams too, tying that to the West. That came down to a missed kick. That game was gonna. If I remember right, I think that came down to a missed kick, and that's the only reason it didn't go into overtime.
Right.
If I want to pull that up just to make 100% sure. I couldn't bring myself to watching. I couldn't bring myself to watching this game like on both screens. Like I just had to have our one game up, but I did not see it going down to 21-19. That was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Right.
Here we go. Play by play. Okay, all plays. Yeah, last play was a missed field goal, and that would have tied it and gone to overtime.
No, they would have won.
19, 20, 22. Oh, yeah, no, that would have been a 22-21 win. How long was that now? It was... Oh, 61, Jesus.
Oh,
yeah.
61er?
Yeah, no, that's one of the... That's one of those where if you're a lineman, like, you don't even honestly need to like really attempt to block it because the likelihood of him hitting it is so low.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but
that's a shame for the Seahawks. That sucks.
Kickers have been hitting long field goals this whole season, though. I think.
Yeah.
Given with the fact that now they can have the ball the whole week and get used to it and put form it however they want so that they have a good kicking game when they go out into live action.
Yeah. No, for sure. I'm just trying to think of any notes on here. I mean, I don't want to just deviate into just bragging I hit a ticket. Like, for some reason, the line for Purdy was 250. So I was like, oh my God, under all day. And I was right.
Yeah.
And then just everything else I picked was, I don't know, really brag about. Like, I actually kind of want to spend these last minutes of like our recap looking forward. Like,
your schedule, like
our injury list could be way worse. It could be, but I still reserve our linebacking core really, really is bad now.
Right.
With Tatum out. And missing a kicker. Well, I'll get relief on the kicker once I see who we sign. We're probably not going to sign a kicker till Wednesday or Thursday, but
right.
I mean, we don't really need to. Like, do you know how to kick? Cool. Like, you don't really need to practice a whole week for that.
Yeah.
But we're hosting the Panthers next week on Monday Night Football in prime time. And I'll tell you what, I don't know what team is going to show up. This team was 5-5 yesterday. Now they're 6-5, and I can't remember who they beat. It wasn't the Saints. It was the Falcons. You beat the Falcons by 3 points in overtime.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what team is going to show up. I'm assuming we're probably, especially because we're at home, we're probably going to get the 5-loss team instead of the 6-win team, so to say.
Right.
Well, and look at that. We're already 7-point favorites. Like day one, like the day the line drops, are already minus 320 also. Yeah, knock that wood until it breaks.
Right.
So I don't know. Like I really worry. The only thing that like right now worries me is that Dowdle and Chuba, they have an awesome running tandem, and our front seven on the defense sucks. Right. I mean, let's be real, it kind of sucks. So, I mean, if we don't clamp down on them, that's going to give them the advantage in the time of possession. Right. And then, I don't know. It just, I mean, I guess we could take advantage of their defense if they're just kind of mid. But again, I just really worry that like we might let it get out of hand if we let their running game control the clock.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have to say, I haven't really watched many Panther games this season, but it's always like it goes to show you just never know what's going to happen in the NFL. And, Bryce Young came out, and when he came out, when he was drafted, after 5 games, people wanted to give up on him, which was crazy.
Oh, here we go. This is what I was looking for. They, hold on. Full team stats. They are on offense. They stink. They're in the bottom half.
Right.
On defense, in terms of total yards, literally right in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, they're 15th best. They're literally right in the middle.
But that's in total yards?
In total yards, they are 15th at 325.
I see. But I mean, look, you got the Eagles two behind them, so.
And we're way, I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that we're almost in the bottom. No, we are in the bottom 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. Jesus. We're the 22nd
yards of offense yesterday. So yeah.
Oh Lord. Whoa, man, that's bad. I didn't realize our defense statistically was that bad.
Yeah.
And that seems about right for offense. They're all those offenses ahead of us. I get it. Yeah. That seems about right for us looking at the rest of these offenses. Okay, well, that makes me feel a little better. Like that, look at that. They're a below par offense and a truly the middle defense.
Yeah.
That makes sense for a team that's 6-5.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we're look at that. I'm thinking of the that golfer meme where Tiger Woods and then the Panthers. Yeah, the Panthers are John Daly at 6-5. I don't know. I don't want to just assume we're gonna like this. I don't want to just assume we're gonna walk away with this game because you don't get the 6 wins for nothing or doing nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know. You were saying that you're not are you
Well, this is next Monday night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Here's something that's gonna motivate them. If they beat us, they have a chance to hopscotch over Tampa Bay.
Yeah, yeah. They still haven't had a bye week yet either, so that's another thing.
Hey, same with us. We haven't had a bye either. We get a bye in Jesus, when do we I think we're still 3 weeks away from our bye.
All right.
Yeah, we have this game, the Browns game, and then we get our bye, and then it's the Titans. Ooh, I feel bad for the Titans. They get to come to Levi's when we're fresh off a bye week. That sucks for Cam Ward.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's 2 primetime games in a row, Monday night here in Indianapolis, and then Sunday night at home against the Bears, which that low-key might be this might be bad. I mean, the Bears just finding ways to win. Like they had a walk-off kick against the Vikings yesterday, so like they're not invincible, but when you find ways to win, I mean, you're winning.
Yeah. Well, the Bears and Eagles had a pact. I don't know if you saw that, but the Bears have beaten everybody in our division, and we've beaten everybody in their division before our matchup. So yeah.
Oh man, when do you guys play each other then?
Black Friday. We play on Black Friday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. That's gonna be the same atmosphere as a primetime game.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's Friday night, Black Friday. Everybody's just, getting out of their turkey comas. So yeah.
I think that kickoff that kickoff's a weird time, isn't it? At like 4:00 or 3:00?
I thought it was like more in prime time. I thought.
Prime Video at 3:00.
Oh, 3:00. Interesting.
That's a weird.
That's a weird time, but
I mean, it's Black Friday. I mean, everybody's. Well, not me. I'm going to be working, but yeah, most 90% of the country's off on Black Friday. So I mean, I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I guess they feel like they're going to get better viewership. There's probably college games on that day too, so.
Oh yeah, probably.
That might have been taken into consideration that there's college games.
You're sneaking in some college games on Fridays now. I've noticed.
We're also, high school playoffs are still going, so that that might be around there. So.
Actually, IU and Purdue, their Oak and Bucket game, because they play each other every year no matter what. That's on a Friday.
Oh, okay.
I think it's actually if it's not this Friday, it's next Friday.
No, right.
Yeah. No, IU and Purdue is going to be Friday at 7 or 8 on NBC. Like they're getting that. IU's going to kick the crap out of them, but but no, it's still in prime time for some reason. But yeah. No, I feel like I'd let that deviate a little bit. I don't know. I'm very, very happy. Like Purdy didn't get hurt. Purdy looked so good. I mean, yeah. Here's a question that you posed to us. Like, so now I'll throw it back to you. Did this alleviate anything from you? Just like, okay, no, like, did you see something better that he does than Mac, or did you still think, oh well, I mean, now we have a quarterback controversy because Mac there's not that much big of a difference. For me, I was very relieved. Like, thank you, Mac. You did a wonderful job. You're going to get a major paycheck, and we're probably going to get at least a 3rd round pick for you because your contract, we have to trade you. But I saw the quarterback that we should have. I think Purdy is just a little bit better than Mac.
I think he's a little bit more mobile than Mac from what I was watching yesterday.
He doesn't look like a baby deer when he runs.
Yeah, I mean, Mac looks like somebody. I mean, I guess has rocks in his shoes. It seems like, and
Mac doesn't want to run. He wants to be a traditional passing quarterback.
Yeah, and so with Purdy's a little bit more mobile. He can throw, on the run, stuff like that. So I do think Purdy does have that. But the thing about it is, it's still he is a little bit more mobile. But okay, how much of that is truly a weapon? Because he's not like Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts, where that's part of the offense. Where you're going to get a design run, a couple of times a game for Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts or something like that. Whereas Purdy, yeah, he's mobile. You could probably run, sprint right option, things like those with him. But typically for somebody like Purdy, you're not going to be designing runs for him 2-3 times a game. So I would say
with all the weapons we have, we shouldn't have to put that on him, though.
but I'm saying, like, that's not him as a quarterback, though. That's not part of his game. So when we say he's mobile, like, really, he just can move around the pocket better than Matt Jones. Okay. And so
his pocket awareness is very, very good.
Yeah. So he has that. And what I would say in this regards is that's probably a slight advantage, but just enough of advantage where you would say, if you really had to choose which one, you're going to go with Purdy. Like, Purdy is the better quarterback because he can move around the pocket better, but I don't feel like it's something overly better that he does than Mac Jones to where it's the level of Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts. It's maybe to the level of Purdy's favorite quarterback, Dan Marino, right? Dan Marino is sort of the same thing. Dan Marino wasn't this running quarterback, but he was very mobile, behind the line of scrimmage and in the pocket, very much like how Purdy is. So, it's not surprising that his hero is Dan Marino, and he plays like Dan Marino when it comes to being inside the pocket and things like that.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And again, just absolutely no disrespect to Mac. We are only where we're at because of Mac. He only lost 2 games. I think he was 5-2 in his 7 starts, or 5-3 in 8, something like that. Mac, thank you. And thank you for the draft pick you're going to get us, because he might not say it out loud, but he is definitely telling his agent, like, I'm not playing. I think he signed a 2-year, $7 million contract. Like, split that in half. I'm not playing I'm not going to be back up for $3 million. I played better than 31 quarterbacks in this league. He's one of the 32 best. I don't know how you could watch this tape and dispute that. Like, he will be a starter next year, and we're going to get a draft pick for him because of it.
Well, yeah. And that's been it. Sam Darnold was good on you guys, and he got more opportunities, and yeah, I think absolutely. Like, that's
we are an exquisite quarterback rehab facility.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing about it is, you are that way for some reason because you can't keep a quarterback healthy, which is funny,
Yeah.
So,
and we also prove we're kind of like we show we find the full potential of a quarterback, because it's not a guarantee. Like, Nick Mullins never played as good as he did after he left us. Jimmy never played as good as he did after he left us or before he got to us. Kyle is like Bruce Arians, or you probably know way more coaches' names than I do. Besides Bruce Arians. No, Kyle is very much a quarterback whisperer. Like, changed my mind. He knows how he knows the quarterback he wants, because he knows how to make an offense work for that specific kind of, like, Matt Ryan, like, run
Right.
if I have to, but I want to be a pocket passer, but I can run if I have to.
Well, I mean, this sort of, so like you were talking about Bruce Arians, but for me, like, this is similar to, like,
Bruce Arians got Jameis Winston in the position to do the 30-30 season, by the way.
Right. Well, I would say,
you might not be good, but we know your potential.
Yeah, this is what it was like for me watching Andy Reid's Eagles. Okay, McNabb wasn't always healthy.
That's a good one too. Yeah, he is.
We would always have to rely on our backup, a couple of backups, a couple of games a year where we're gonna have a backup come in and play some games or whatever. So I mean, you look at that list. We had AJ Feely, who came in with 3-1 when McNabb got hurt one year. Jeff Garcia, who basically still is
speaking of Niners royalty.
Yeah, Jeff Garcia is still the one and only quarterback to face 3 division rivals on the road at the end of the season, like I said, on the road, and win them all. Those are his last 3 games of the seasons were Dallas, Giants, and Redskins at the time, and they were all on the road, and that had something had never been done, in scheduling ever before nor since. And I remember looking at that thinking, oh my gosh, I'll be happy if we go 2-1 in that, and he won all 3. And we won the division. So I mean, Andy Reid was just it's similar to this, where you have somebody who was a starter, who now has become a backup. You have him on, and you know what? You just coach him up or whatever, and that's what Andy Reid did for a long time in Philadelphia.
Andy Reid. That's a good pull. Andy Reid very much is another quarterback whisperer. I think the way he got Alex Smith, and he's maximizing Patrick Mahomes. Well, not this year, but 3 Super Bowl rings in 6 or 8 consecutive AFC title appearances before this 5-5 season.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. And Andy Reid, you honestly could argue Andy Reid is the greatest coach to ever coach, because of all the quarterbacks that he has had to hand in, even going to back when he was, an assistant quarterbacks coach for, Green Bay. He was coaching up Brett Favre, and he was a guy that had before he became a head coach was never an offensive coordinator. He never called plays in the NFL or anything like that, but he was just a smart enough guy, and he was able to coach up quarterbacks. And he definitely is the type of person who knows your strengths and your weaknesses, and he's just going to basically play on your strengths a lot more, and just not do very much that will play into your weaknesses. And that's just
he's not gonna try to expand your horizons. He's gonna it's like what Bill Belichick would do, with those very niche. Belichick loved grabbing very niche players,
right?
Like Matt Slater, Danny Amendola, Julian. He loved little wide receivers like Danny and Julian and Wes. Yeah. And I'm going to go out of my way to get as much productivity out of you in your very specific set of skills.
Yeah.
And he was a master at that.
He really was. He really was. That's absolutely sure.
As much as it pains me to credit the Patriots with anything, Belichick knew he loved those weird little players that no one else could figure out what to do.
Well, I always said
if he had Taysom Hill.
I always had said that Bill Belichick could make a football player out of an orange and 2 toothpicks. That just seemed to be, what he was able to do. So
Kyle Shanahan could get 1,000 yards out of an orange too, the way he seems runs.
Right. Yeah.
That's why he calls Christian McCaffrey. He literally calls Christian McCaffrey a cheat code.
Yeah.
He's just too OP.
Yeah.
I'd give Brian the ball more, but it's Christian. You want me to take carries away from this?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right. Well, I see what time we're at. I don't have any other notes for the game. I think it's time to give our shout out to our sponsor, Royal Retros. Blaze Royal Retros is your go-to place to get yourself an authentic throwback jersey. Whether it's football, basketball, baseball, any of the major sports, they got you covered. And when you find something that you like, say in the Candlestick collection, curated with Bay Area fans in mind, throw it in your cart and use our promo code Shady Sports, and you'll get 10% off of everything in that cart. Not just a couple items or special items, everything in your cart. You get 10% off the order with the promo code Shady Sports. Helps us out, helps out everybody in the family of Shady Sports programming. Shout out to Sam for hooking us up with this connection. Again, it's royalretros.com, promo code Shady Sports to get 10% off of your entire order at checkout. Again, royalretros.com. You'll get yourself an authentic throwback jersey today. And speaking of apparel, we are selling t-shirts. Jimmy explains it better than I do. Let the people know.
So, guys, we've been raising money for Mountain Comprehensive Care Centers in Kentucky, basically because we're trying to bring awareness to the lack of accountability of owners as compared to players in the NFL. And you don't even have to be really any type of fan of the NFL to know that if a player does something, it's something that everybody knows about. It doesn't matter which player or who it is. And it's not even like we wait a long time to never hear about those news. Like a player does something the next day, everybody knows. Whereas an owner, there are a lot of stories out there on the owners that, are out there, especially like I went for an update that Jed York of the San Francisco 49ers was implicated in insider trading with a company that was helping students cheat during the pandemic. And so I checked for an update on that. Still no updates, whatever. That was like 2 years ago. But what's going on with it, I don't know. It's not being reported. Who knows what's going on? I haven't seen any type of settlements or anything. So, but this is just something that is out there. It's out there to be seen, and we don't know. And so really, if we want to bring true transparency to these owners, you know what, Dan Snyder, you could just hand us the blackmail PowerPoint, and we will unequivocally just release the whole thing on the internet and just let everybody see. You just give it to us, and we'll do all the dirty work for you. But anyway, we
release the files, release the emails, release everything.
Just you got your money, and whatever it is, just let it all out. So, but given that we are raising money for Mountain Comprehensive Care Centers to by selling our t-shirts, and this is our statement: owner standards are less than player standards. # owner accountability. For $22.99, you can get that in a t-shirt, and we have different colors, different styles, different sizes. Next up, we have our podcast logo art. You'll find this wherever you see our profile picture, whether it be on our YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you see us and listen to us. This is our profile pic. $22.99 gets you that in a t-shirt. We have different styles, different sizes. Next up, we have our alternate podcast logo art. $22.99 gets you that in a t-shirt. Plus, we have different colors, different styles, and different sizes of that. And then last but not least, how can you say no to our mascot? A peanut while eating peanuts, cheering on his San Francisco 49ers, a true Niner nut. $22.99 gets you that in a t-shirt. And we have different styles, different sizes. Donate to Mountain Comprehensive Care Manager today.
Yes, the link to the Bonfire store for the shirts, and if you just want more information in general on Mountain Conference Care Center, they're all in the show notes. Go back in our history about a year ago and change. We interviewed someone from Mountain Comprehensive Care Center. It's a great episode. One of our only ones that has very little football to talk about. But it's a great episode, and we just want you to have a cool t-shirt and know that you helped a family in need. We don't get any of the proceeds. There is one news thing. I've taken the mantle on this since Eric usually does, but the only thing of news other than I'm not going to be watching the Cowboys and the Raiders after this is Spitgate. I don't remember if this is Spitgate 2 or 3. I feel like it's 3 after your guy. I thought there was one in between Jamar Chase and now, but regardless,
Oh, you froze.
Gate is happening again. He has been suspended, and Jalen Ramsey has also. Oh no, am I back? Am I back?
Yeah. You're kind of in and out, but yeah.
Oh, weird. Okay. Well, Jalen Ramsey got fined. I don't remember if he got suspended. He at least got fined after getting thrown out of the Steelers and the Bengals game because he went at it with Jamar Chase, and he said that Chase spat on him. That video came out, speaking of real quick detective work, that video came out very quickly after the game, and today Jamar Chase has been suspended without pay for 1 game because of the footage, and it's pretty damning. And all I have to say about that is just kind of grow the hell up, guys. Like,
well, he is. I also saw that he is filing an appeal.
We got video, dude. Like,
and the thing about it is, after the Jalen Carter,
you spat on him.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. So, like, after the Jalen Carter thing, like going forward, it's a 1-game suspension and a fine now for it. And you can say, well, Jalen Carter didn't get suspended for a game. Well, he got thrown out at the beginning of that game. So, yeah, he served a 1-game suspension.
If it wasn't the very first play of the game, that's the reason that counted.
Yeah, because like I mean, there hadn't even been a snap in the game. That was right after the kickoff.
Yeah,
like that, they hadn't even snapped the ball at the line of scrimmage. And
did that still count as a start for him?
I honestly don't know because but what I do know is when that penalty came out, the NFL said that yes, he's getting fined, and it was a 1-game suspension. And that he has served it by the fact that he was thrown out at the beginning of the game and had played no snaps in the game. Therefore, that 1-game suspension has already been served. So the NFL has said since that incident that moving forward, if you spit on somebody, it's going to be a fine and a 1-game suspension. And that's it.
It's I can't remember what the fine is on top of the game check. I'd have to look at it, but yeah, no, it's a fine and your game check. So
yeah, so like
it's pretty up there.
That is definitely up there. So I mean, I don't know why Jamar Chase is even appealing or anything like that. Like seriously, just
it's a pretty clear-cut video. Like yeah. I'm just saying. I think what happened to Carter was fair. Like literally because it was the kickoff. Like. I think that's fair. I don't see why people would disagree with that, but
yeah, and the thing about it is, before that game, it had always been like a fine thing, but
yeah.
The NFL had said, this seems to be becoming a problem, so we need to relook at it and maybe set a new precedent into being, a little bit tougher on this type of incident. And that it started right with the Jalen Carter thing automatically. 1 game just fine. So
it's disrespectful. It's very unhygienic. Like there's no reason to do it.
No.
On a more serious note though, I do kind of feel bad because I feel like Eric and I didn't talk about this, and I do kind of feel bad about that, especially now that he's not here on this one to mention it here. But the Cowboys, I'd be very remiss. Or no, we did talk about it. That's right. We didn't know all the details though at the time. So me and Eric did already address this a little bit, but now that we know all the details about Marshawn Keelan's taking his own life, at the time Eric and I talked about it, we didn't know all those details yet, but yeah, I think it's still worth just having a little second to just our hearts go out to the Cowboys, like, and to the Keelan family. He's got a wife and at least one child without a dad now, and just feeling like that. My heart breaks for everybody that knew him. Just the way that all went down, and feeling like he couldn't get help. That just, I don't know. I'm glad they were on a bye week so they could take some extra time to think about it too. I don't have anything to really add onto that other than just.
One thing that this podcast
check on your friends and family, like just.
Yeah, but one thing as we as a podcast have always said, that mental health illness is real. It's a real thing.
Very, very.
Affects a lot more people than maybe you think. And like you said, Dan, like I remember too, like Brady Quinn of all people. I forget the player for the Chiefs who
Oh, yeah. I
he had
know who you're talking about. That story was tragic.
it was a murder suicide type of thing like that. And Brady Quinn came out and he said, like, we have all these guys here. You walk up and down the hall and you just say, "Hey, how you doing?" And that person might say, fine or whatever. And then we don't elaborate. We don't know what fine is for that person. Like, if somebody says fine instead of, "Oh, I'm having a great day." Okay, why are you fine and not having a great day? And like, so how often when we say, "How are you doing?" do we really mean it? Like in a sense where like we really want to know how you're doing. And so like that's something, in society that maybe we should think about, like that when we say, "How are you doing?" like we truly want to know how you are doing and not just the simple pleasantries that we have on an everyday basis sometimes with people. That maybe we should think about that just a little bit more, and things like that. But
right, like the Seahawks really spearheaded. The Seahawks really spearheaded having a therapist on staff like all the time during the season, and I presume during the off season too. Therapy dogs are all over the league now. I know we have a therapy dog. There's the late Jim Irsay started Kicking the Stigma, which is a phenomenal non-for-profit up here in Indianapolis, and he was very, very, very proud of that, and he should be. Like, it broke my heart seeing that was what the situation that was what the situation was. Not trying to downplay it, but my heart breaks for the Cowboys. Like I wouldn't wish that upon I wouldn't wish that upon anybody, and I don't know. I hope he found peace, and I hope that everybody that knew him is handling everything okay.
Yeah, me too. And like I said, if you're out there, you're watching this, and you need help, we've had NAMI on our show before, which is the National Alliance of Mental Illness. They're probably one of the greatest resources that you can have out there for mental health. If you're suffering, or if you have a family member suffering, they have all sorts of support groups for not just individuals who suffer from mental illness, but also families as well. And the families is not just a support group, but they also have education for the families on how to deal with your loved ones and going through all that. So, and all of that is basically pretty much free. You can donate and things like that. But if you're just a person who, hey, I'm suffering, or if you have a family member who's suffering and maybe they're not getting the help, but you want to understand maybe more of what they're going through, NAMI is there for you. And they're pretty much everywhere. And, given the political landscape and everything, some NAMIs have more resources than others, but pretty much the basic resource of family and individual group therapies and things like that are there for pretty much anywhere you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And not to end on like such a dour note, we do have a fun episode coming up Friday. I'm still going to be riding high from hitting one of my tickets. But we do our parlay. It's half parlay, half weekend preview. We'll say our final well wishes to have a good win against the Carolina Panthers. Eric should be back with us on Friday too. We will be the episode will be a day late, obviously, because we play on Monday. We're not gonna skip that episode and just.
You don't want to have a live reaction show.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm lucky the Wi-Fi's worked as well as it has lately. Like I'm not gonna try to do a live stream and stream the game at the same time. But no, the episode's gonna be a day late, obviously. Like we only like skip Thursdays, which thank God we don't have another Thursday. But we're playing Monday night. We'll remind you all this on Friday too. But that episode's gonna be a day late, but not our parlay episode. that will still be on Friday. It'll still be our preview of Week 12. And yeah, that is all we got for you on this episode. Thanks for joining us. And Jimmy B, get us out of here.
Outro music, River Road, Justin Youth.
We'll see you all on Friday. Let's beat the Panthers.
River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long. River Road, where have all the women gone? Have they kissed her hand and waved you bye-bye? Have they thought about crossing your double yellow lines? River Road, they love the way you